Good evening. It is 6 o'clock, and I will call the meeting, the regularly scheduled meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission to order. If we would please all rise, and Commissioner Bogner will lead us in the pledge.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3, roll call.
Chair McNabb?
Here.
Commissioner Bogner? Here. Commissioner Erickson?
Here.
Commissioner Ursulau? Here. Item 4, approval of the minutes of the special November 29th, 2018 meeting of the PRC.
Does anyone have any additions or corrections to the minutes? I will move to approve the minutes from the November 29th meeting.
Second.
Call for the question.
Sorry, I should abstain, right? Because I wasn't here.
Yeah. Motion carries 3-0. Item 5, public comments.
To ensure fair and equal treatment of all who appear before the Parks and Recreation Commission and to expedite city business, speakers will be limited to 3 minutes during public comments. The 3-minute per speaker limit may be extended for good cause by the chairperson or a majority vote of the commission. Please fill out a blue speaker card and hand it to the secretary and state your name and city of residence for the record. At this time, I will open public comments. Seeing no public comments, I will close public comments. And
Item 6, commissioner comments.
thank you. We'll start with Commissioner Erickson and go down the row.
Thank you. Just a few things. Happy New Year, everybody. I had the opportunity to attend an afternoon tea at the Orange County Art Museum that's actually being held in kind of a temporary location as the new art museum is being built in Costa Mesa. So right now, the museum, which had been in Newport Beach for many years, is located in a building on Sunflower, just north of South Coast Plaza. Nice location, beautiful exhibit. I'd encourage everyone to go check it out and really take a great look at the plans that they have for the museum in Costa Mesa. They have some models and things there of how the new building will look. I'm excited about it, and just wanted to let you all know that resource exists for you. Also want to thank the folks out both yesterday and today doing the homeless point-in-time survey. It's happening all over LA, Orange County, and I think a few other counties in Southern California. It's really important. The data that's collected will be valuable, and so just wanted to also just publicize that if you're interested in being involved. It happens, I think, the first part of every year. So it's happening tonight. That's all I had.
Thank you, Commissioner Bogner.
Thank you. Good evening and Happy New Year, everybody. First thing, just to piggyback on what Commissioner Erickson said in regards to the homeless shelter Bridges Open House is going to be next Wednesday, January 30th at the Senior Center here at 6 p.m. So if you're interested in that, you may attend that. Also, I did want to notify the public of the change of date of the Diego Sepulveda Adobe dedication. That will be on February 9th, I believe, at 10 a.m. And then lastly, I just want to, I want to thank Chair McNabb actually for asking me to cover some of the Fairview Park Steering Committee meetings. And I have really enjoyed that, and it's been extremely interesting, especially as somebody who did not grow up in Costa Mesa. I wasn't really aware of the amenity that we had, and I've learned a ton going to these meetings, and actually have started working with one of the committee members as well as the Fairview Park Administrator, Cynthia, and we are planning on doing a partnership with the Newport Mesa Unified School District and some of the classes, possibly the STEM classes, the environmental science classes, and I'm really excited about that. So I just wanted to point that out in case anybody had any input about programming that they and their kids might have ideas about in regards to partnering with the school district and Fairview Park. So anyways, thank you for that opportunity, Chair McNabb, and I will keep everyone updated. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year. It's wonderful to be back with you in 2019. Had enjoyed all of the lovely rains that I think have helped the LA Times headline in the California section today talks about how our reservoirs and waterways, snowpack have been really increased, and I think that's very positive. So, and I also really like to drive by Fairview on my way here tonight with a beautiful setting sun. The green hills just looked gorgeous, so we do live in a beautiful city. Also, I would like to thank city staff for their hard work throughout December and January. The Santa Paws event for the holiday, along with the Winter Wonderland, was really well attended when I was there, and people really enjoyed getting to do all the activities, and the children enjoyed being with Santa, so that was wonderful, and I know everybody worked really hard on that. I would also like to congratulate the Priceless Pet grand opening that was so well attended. There must have been 100 people there when I was there, and it was so wonderful to see people caring for the animals. We've had great reports so far. I think it was 9 that were adopted that day. And so what a wonderful partnership, and a year has made a big difference in the animal services that the city provides. So congratulations on that. Also, I got to participate in the christening of the new fire station, or fire truck, where you actually literally push it in with manpower into the bay for the first time, and that was really special and great to get to see all of our city's brave firefighters get the equipment that they need to keep us safe. And I also had mentioned the plaque dedication, so that's already taken care of February 9th. And my final comment was that I would just also like to thank city staff, in particular a young man named Valente. I had a resident phone me particularly this morning to let me know what a great experience they had with the helpfulness of that person from our maintenance department, and it's so nice to hear when people appreciate the hard work that our staff does on behalf of the residents. So special shout out to all of you, and thank you very much. Commissioner Ursulou.
Thank you. Well, everyone else hit all of the awesome things going on in Costa Mesa, so I don't need to do that. That's great. I just wanted to take a moment to let you all know that I did not apply for a second term as a Parks Commissioner. As Ruth Bader Ginsburg says, women can have it all, just not at the same time. So this is likely going to be my last meeting. Work obligation next month may keep me away 50-50. So I just wanted to be sure to get in some words before I am done with my tenure here. First, I just want to thank all of the city staff. It has been so wonderful to see the hard work and dedication that all of you do. It's really incredible, the stuff that you carry for the city. And I wanted to give a couple shout outs to some of the women that I have seen around this city in the past 2 years working in and around all of the park advocacy. So Sherry Corando, her vigilance with her husband around Lions Park and getting that baseball field acknowledged eventually to be an open space that we can play in again. Cindy Black and Ken Hendricks, always looking out for Fairview Park. It's really great to always see them active and questioning things and staying on top of it. And Flo Martin for her humanity that she brings to Wilson Park in the face of some obstacles I know that have been over there. Olga Reynolds. Olga Reynolds is just a genuine park conservator for the city and always has her eyes on things. And I see Charlene Aschendorf in the audience, and she's just awesome. So I think we should acknowledge her as well. And I just wanted to let folks know that I will be just doing family things and working and volunteer coaching my daughter's basketball team through Rocks. So I will be very busy, but I will still be around and glad to advocate for the parks whenever you need some backup support. So thank you all, and thank you, Chairwoman McNabb, for all your work.
Well, thank you. You'll be very missed if we can't convince you. Okay. That ends commissioner comments.
Item 7, consent calendar.
All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted in one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items prior to the time the commission votes on the motion unless members of the commission, staff, or the public request specific items to be removed from the consent calendar. These items will be discussed and voted upon immediately following the commission action on the remainder of the consent calendar. Upon invitation by the chairperson, members of the public who wish to discuss consent calendar items should come forward to the microphone, state your name, city in which you reside, and the item number. Is there anyone that would like to address anything on the consent calendar? Seeing none, I will move to approve the consent calendar. Any discussion?
I'll second that.
Okay, so I have a second, so call for the question. Oh, that one's yours.
No.
Okay, and here we go, voting.
The motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Presentation item 8, 2018 Senior Center Programs and Services Review.
Good evening, Commissioners. Tonight we have Mariana Pena, who's a recreation coordinator who oversees the daily operations of the Senior Center, and she's going to be doing a presentation to give you a 2018 highlight of some of the programs and services throughout the year.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners and members of the public. 2018 was full of great programming and growth at the Senior Center. I would first like to begin by sharing information about Senior Center membership. Senior Center membership is free and is available for seniors age 50 years and older. Members are registered in our system and receive a membership card to scan in and out of the center, and also receive a monthly subscription to the Senior Center newsletter, The Chronicle. Membership has steadily increased over the past 3 years. Currently, we have 2,042 registered Senior Center members. As you can see, in 2017, we had 2,213 Senior Center members, and staff recognized that many seniors were still actively participating, but didn't officially register as a 2018 member. To get an accurate membership number, seniors will now only have to register every 2 years. So everyone who was registered for 2018 membership has been rolled over into 2019. Seniors have appreciated this very much since they don't have to refill out a form each year, or they could do it every 2 years now. Additionally, we also did a citywide mailing of our newsletter, which went out to all the to all households in Costa Mesa. So that's also increased membership this month. As previously mentioned, membership has steadily increased. Staff have been registering an average of 170 members each month. Through marketing at community events, peer marketing, and by word of mouth, we have noticed an increase in membership registration. And these are our numbers for each month. As you can tell, it's steadily
Mariana,
increased.
I think your slides are not keeping up.
Oh. It's on here. As you can see from the slideshow, membership has steadily increased each month, so we do get a lot of new patrons each month. Another program that is growing is the Senior Mobility Program, also known as SMP. Staff have registered more than 6,000 rides in 2018 for the Senior Mobility Program. In 2018, the Senior Center was awarded the OCTA EMSD grant, which stands for Enhanced Mobility for Seniors and Disabled. This grant was formerly known as 5310, that provides a new vehicle for senior mobility. The center is expected to receive the new vehicle in fiscal year 2019-2020. The Medical Transportation Program, also referred as MTP, has also flourished. Staff have registered more than 2,500 rides in 2018 for the Medical Transportation Program. There are currently 189 registered riders for this program. I will now be speaking about this center's social services program. The social services program was awarded the CDBG grant for fiscal year 2018-2019 and is run by community outreach worker Sharu Moody. A group I would like to highlight that our community outreach worker facilitates is the Veteran Social Group. The group initially started with 4 participants and has grown to more than 12. The group has formed a bond and look forward to their monthly meetings. In May of 2018, the group was transported to Camp Pendleton and got to interact with fellow comrades at the base and also received a guided tour. The photo is from that trip. On Tuesday, November 6th, in honor of Veterans Day, the group received a catered lunch from Turnip Rose and had a special speaker who presented on his experience as a veteran. Another of the many resources at the center is the Senior Grocery Program. In 2018, more than 2,500 seniors have received groceries at this program that is offered twice a month through a partnership with Second Harvest. I will now be providing updates on our leisure and educational programming. The Senior Center has a garden parcel at the Hamilton Garden that is maintained by Senior Center staff and senior volunteers. Staff, they're currently working on creating a raised garden bed so seniors can also do gardening standing up because some seniors cannot get on the ground to garden. So we're working on that right now. The Senior Center's travel program provided trips to 10 locations out of the county to places such as Los Angeles, San Diego, and Las Vegas. Additionally, the center also provided community day trips to places such as the Lions Air Museum at John Wayne Airport. Another popular program at the center is the Fitness for Life program. The program is taught by Senior Center staff at no cost to the senior. Fitness for Life's Active Adventures class is very popular, and this class takes seniors to walk at local parks and beaches. It's a great way for them to socialize and be active outside the center. In addition to classes, the center hosted 12 special events in 2018. Our most popular event was Breakfast with Santa. This event was free and brought more than 200 seniors out, and they enjoyed a catered breakfast, entertainment, raffles, and visiting with Santa Claus, which is their favorite. Senior staff collaborated with Teen Center and youth program staff to offer 3 intergenerational events that included Grandparents' Day, a toiletry drive for Orangewood Foundation, and trick-or-treating at the center for the city's preschool program LEAP. This is one of our most popular events with the seniors because we often don't have youth here, so they enjoy watching the children come in and trick-or-treat. In September, the center celebrated Active Aging Week with activities such as a live cooking demo provided by Hogue, which was great because they learned some healthy options for breakfast and keep it diabetic friendly as well. And also we had an aqua aerobics demo class. More than 600 seniors participated in the week-long programming. The center also partnered with Greater Newport Physicians to offer Tai Chi twice a week at no cost to our members. This class is popular with 40 to 50 seniors attending each week. And we are due to continue this program in this year as well. The center also partnered with Hogue to offer a free flu shot clinic that provided more than 150 vaccines to seniors. I would like to end this presentation with upcoming events that are taking place at the Senior Center. We will be hosting the On Par Social, which stands for On Programs, Activities, and Resources, on Wednesday, February 27th from 5 to 6:30. This is open to anyone 18 and older to learn about resources in the community. At this social, we will have an open house that will include a presentation about the Senior Center, guided tours, community partner tables, and refreshments. On Wednesday, March 13th, we'll be hosting the 5th Annual Knowledge and Health Fair Expo. This is a great event for seniors to learn about local community resources to enhance their health and wellness. On Friday, March 29th, the center will be hosting its first senior prom. This will be an intergenerational event where seniors can register their families to enjoy an evening in Paris. So if anyone in the crowd wants to register, please register for this. Thank you, Commissioners. That concludes the Senior Center 2018 program review. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very informative. Very much enjoyed it. Commissioners, comments? Ms. Bogner.
I have a quick question. What was the age you said to be able to register?
For membership, 15 older.
50?
50.
I can register
And,
next year.
Is it must be imminent? Okay.
I'm
well, we
gonna go,
expect you to
wipe my
register
tears.
day of. I think Jim and Leah have a while. I'm right there with you. I'm heading up the rear for sure.
What's wrong with turning 50? See? There you go. Question, though, I was really interested in how the LEAP program participated, and wondered if there's any way to increase that type of participation. I just think it gives both sides of the table great perspective, and it's probably really enjoyable. So could you maybe expand on like what happens and the frequency with which the preschoolers get to visit?
Yeah, so the preschoolers come annually for Halloween. So we decorate the doors in the center with different themes. So this year is the Wizard of Oz. They trick or treat. So we do have senior volunteers that pass out candy. We do schedule, we do work with the LEAP instructors to bring the kids over. So they come on a school bus. Yeah.
Just a quick follow-up. It's probably the main impediment to making it happen is transportation?
Yes, transportation. Okay. And also we do work with the older group, the 4 to 5-year-olds, because the smaller ones, they tend not to want to get on the bus. And we do have some criers the morning of, so sometimes not all the kids get on the bus.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so that's why we do it annually, and it's been a great event.
Great.
And as far as the flu vaccination goes, is that once a year, one day, or is there a potential of expanding that, or we think that one day is enough? Or
so Hogue does sponsor that, and it's just once a year in the fall. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Well, it's wonderful to see how many people are taking advantage of it. Thank you for your hard work. I think that you have a lot to do with the success of all these programs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, we'll be moving on then. Thank you, Mariana.
Item 9, old business, no items. New business item 10A, tree removal request 2722 Sandpiper Drive.
Good evening, Commissioners. Jim Ortiz, City Arborist. The tree removal request is for 2722 Sandpiper Drive. Type of tree is a Canary Island pine tree. The height of the tree is approximately 45 to 60 feet. The right-of-way is 10 feet, and it was last maintained on December 10th of 2018. What you have in front of you is the front of the tree.
Okay, we'll do it in between this one.
Then you have a look at the whole tree itself from the front. And now you're looking at the tree looking south. And now you're looking at the tree looking north.
Okay.
And that's the presentation for this moment.
All right. Yes, Mr. Lindeman.
We should add that the tree is in good health. There is no critical infrastructure where you look at it at the curb picture, you'll see that there is not significant raising of the curb or the sidewalk behind it. So there is not significant infrastructure damage to city property.
Thank you. Is there public comment on this? I will open the, hi.
How about me? I'm the owner of
Yes, you, please. Yes, this is your moment.
Okay, so tell me when it's my turn.
Please go right ahead. It is your turn.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Bruce. Appreciate the help. And Jim, and for many conversations we've had. And nice to meet you finally.
Nice to meet you.
My wife and I purchased the home just this year. We moved in on June 1. Early June, Jim had agreed already with me to trim it, and it got trimmed. Shortly after that, I had begun to clean up after that tree. And for the next 4 months, even after the first trimming, it was... and I called him and told him it's a quality of life issue for me. I'm 65, I'm retired, and I don't want to spend 1 hour a day on average cleaning up after a tree. I'd rather be on the golf course. And he agreed with me, being, I think he said you were a golf course superintendent at one time.
Assistant golf course superintendent.
Yeah.
Assistant, okay. So, and at that point, he gave me the option of coming and talking with all of you about having the tree removed or having it trimmed again. And through a couple of different conversations, I determined that it wasn't going to be too easy to get it removed, at the city's expense at least. So I had it trimmed again. And it was trimmed on December 8th. And by the way, at no time after I moved in have I been able to park in front of my house, or any of my friends or family been able to park in front of that house that I bought, because of the danger of this glue coming out of the tree. They call it sap, but it's literally glue. And if you don't catch it and you let it sit there a while, what you're faced with is property damage, huge property damage. I had to have my Acura, my $50,000 vehicle, detailed, and they even had a hard time removing it and damaged the clear coat on the paint. So I've got a property that I cannot utilize the front area to park in. That's number one. And then the other part is the extreme amount of work it is during the summer months. The unique situation that I have, you guys have to understand. I'm 3 minutes is all I get, right?
Right, and I forgot to turn it on, so you might be getting an
so
extra moment or two.
I guess here
fine.
it is. Okay, well, 2 more.
Feel free.
Just one more.
Yeah.
Thing. I've got the winds coming up the Santa Ana River there, and they come from the southwest, and they come into that tree, and everything coming out of that tree is coming onto my property. It's not blowing into the street. It's not blowing anywhere but my property, and my property consists of the yard, the bushes, the driveway, the roof, because it's so doggone close. It's a one-story house, and it doesn't sit back. It sits up. And there's actually a 20 by 20, 400-foot area that in the middle of that roof that this stuff comes over by wind into, it's called a courtyard there. I'm up on a ladder, and when I say an average of 1 hour a day, I'm up on a ladder on the roof blowing off these pine needles off my roof, guys. And this is during the summer. I understand there's this dormant period, kind of like right now. The winds aren't blowing that much. The trees aren't growing, I guess, that much. But it's still dripping sap. It's dripping sap continuously. I can't park there. So I've got an issue. I've got a pretty big issue. It's a quality of life thing. I can't utilize the front of my house to park. Not just me. For my family. I've got 3 children down there. They all just had little babies. My wife babysits. They drop them off. They come over. They are afraid to park in front of my house because they know it'll happen. That they know that tree is going to drip sap on their. My strong hope is that you will agree to remove the pine, grind the stump, and plant another beautiful tree in the parkway. And if you agree, I will contribute to the cost of
Thank you for
the
your
tree. Okay, that's
Thank you
it.
for your input.
Okay.
Appreciate it. I will open it up to commissioner comments. Anybody have any questions for staff or Mr. Green?
Chairman Cobb? Oh, go ahead.
Yes, please, Ms. Bogner.
Hi, thank you for coming. I certainly empathize with your concern. We have these kinds of trees in our complex. Unfortunately, they're healthy. They're healthy trees, but they can be a nuisance. Just one suggestion that I have, and just in case this doesn't go your way, there's stuff that you can use to remove sap. It's called contact cleaner that cleans off the sap from your car. I realize, I get it. I'm married to a car guy, and it's so frustrating. But I'm inclined to deny the request only because it's a healthy tree, and it's not a diseased tree. So, but I do completely empathize with your concern and understand it's frustrating. But unfortunately, that's the only thing that I have to offer you at this time.
Commissioner Erickson?
Thank you. Just wanted to clarify with the arborist. I think you had mentioned in your report the tree was between 45 and 60 feet high?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. I just noticed in the
Yeah, that's my diagram.
yeah, that it was listed as 80 feet. I just wanted to be clear.
It's
on-
closer to 80 feet. It's nowhere near 45 feet tall. It's the tallest tree in the neighborhood. And I might add, it's probably the tallest pine tree in Costa Mesa.
So,
It's gigantic.
so the city tree contractor, when they trim the tree, they also check the height and they check the diameter of the trunk as well. And they
Okay.
update the inventory as they do that.
Great. Just wanted to have clarification.
And they said, when they trimmed it the last time, they could not make it smaller in diameter this way because of the, I don't know, Jim, because of the size of the trunk of the root of the limbs.
Yeah, there's no reason to crown reduce a pine tree because it's detrimental to the tree. So you have to be very careful.
I know, so we're thinking about the tree way more than the property owner here, aren't we? When we say stuff like this. Okay, so I will contribute towards the purchase of all the trees needed to be replaced. That I think you have a program called something like tree replacement or something. I don't know what it's called.
Any
But
other?
if it's offered.
Okay.
It's not.
Would you like to make any comments,
Yes.
Ms. Ursula?
Just one follow-up question. What is the age of the tree again?
I would say 40 years old.
40 years
50.
old. So if that tree were to be removed, the city would replace it with a what? How old tree?
Probably a year-old tree,
Yeah,
two-year-old tree,
so it would
a
take
smaller
another
tree.
39 years to
Yes.
get that kind of a footprint on that
Yes.
street to
Exactly.
contribute to the air quality and the health of all the residents of Costa Mesa.
It wouldn't be equal.
Okay.
And what does the city value the tree at?
Oh, the estimated value of the tree is inside there. It's $14,410 or something.
Okay, so this is an asset to the city and, okay. Okay.
It's 14,740.
There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Lindman.
Does anyone know how that value is calculated?
It's calculated through the type of tree species and the value of it and where it's located and the age of the tree. There's a calculation.
Seems to me that tree should have been planted right when the house was built. Do they come in 15 years after that, or do
It could have.
It could have been. So the house was built in 1965, right?
Right.
All right. So that puts it at 53 years old.
Could be.
Highly likely.
So
It's very mature.
it's a very mature
It's a
tree.
beautiful tree. I drove by there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous, you guys. I mean, it is. But it belongs in the Sierra Mountains. You know, honestly, it's that big.
Did you have something to say,
Oh, I just
Mr.
want to say
Lindman?
that, as you can see in the photos, if you go back, you can see that there are other trees of similar size in the neighborhood, but right across the street there is one that has not recently been trimmed. Mr. Green's might be a bit larger, because this one has, what we're looking at is one tree which has been trimmed and one which has not. But they are all established trees in that neighborhood and have been for quite a
There's
while.
two of those trees on my side of the street, and one of them is 75% smaller than mine, and you can see it down there on my side of the street. The wind blows all the debris, Bruce, onto my property.
Right.
These 5 or 6 trees on the other side of the street, the wind's blowing that into the street, not their property. That's the difference. I'm really wanting to get that through before you all make a decision here. It's coming right onto my house.
Mm-hmm. Can I make one?
Yes, please, Ms.
No,
Lerslow.
thank you. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your concerns. And we understand the level of nuisance it is. And as Commissioner Bogner mentioned, you know, there are solutions that we each can do to take care of these issues that arise. I mean, as someone who last year spent $14,000 on plumbing because of the tree in front of our house that I still don't want the city to remove because that's just part of home ownership and part of the commons. When we have a commons, we need clean air. That clean air comes from nice trees. And so short of it being an unhealthy tree that's about to fall over on a house, in my mind, I'm also inclined. Can I make a motion to
You
deny
may
the
make a
request?
motion, yes, please.
Motion to deny the request.
Call for the question.
Did you get a second?
Oh, sorry.
Because I'll make one.
Okay, Jim.
Okay, I'll second that.
Thank you. Call for the question.
The motion carries 4-0.
Mr. Green, you are, in 1 year's time, you may make the request again, and we can consider at that time, depending on if there is any change in the tree's health.
Okay. Is there a possibility for a what's it called?
The Category 2 removal?
Yeah, it's the second option, the second alternative that where I would incur the cost of removal and not replacement.
We could request in 1 year. So because the tree is healthy and we've made the motion and made the vote, no, it is not available for a Category 2. We did not move to give you the option for a Category 2.
Okay.
Thank you for coming. And at this time, I would like to back up a little bit. In the consent calendar that I would like to pull the item in reverse because the Capco family is here this evening. I was not aware that they were here, and so at this time, we would like to recognize your request. And if you would like to say a few words, we would love to hear that. If you would. I enjoyed reading your letter, and I think that it's a beautiful tribute, and I really am glad that you came. I'm sorry, I was under the impression we didn't know you were going to attend. So
it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
So please.
All the things that I would have wanted to cover, Nancy covered in her letter. As you know, our son passed away 13 years ago, and immediately in the aftermath of that, friends of ours established a foundation in his honor. And in the last 13 years, we've given, through a fundraiser that we do once a year called the Barbecue at Angel Stadium, about $50,000 of scholarships to Estancia kids and over $100,000 in grants to activities that Brian really cared about and was part of his life. So we're just trying to carry on his legacy. The kids played at that park across the street, and that's just some place for us to go when we go for our walk and just sort of have a place to remember him by, because he's buried in Whittier where the rest of our family is, so it's not something we can do easily without forethought and planning. So this is something that's closer to home, and we do appreciate your approval tonight, so thank you.
Absolutely. It's very meaningful, and I want you to understand, or some advice a person gave to me before is that there is a community in grief, as my twin brother died 20 years ago, and it never really gets that easier. I mean, it does get somewhat easier, but I'm sorry for your loss, certainly. And at this time, we will continue to move on to the next tree removal, please.
New business item 10B, tree removal request, 3117 Killarney Lane.
Commissioners, this tree removal is for 311 Killarney Lane. The type of tree is a Brisbane box tree. The height of tree is approximately 45 to 60 feet tall. The size of the right-of-way is 10 feet, and it was last maintained July 22nd of 2016. There is the front of the tree. There is the tree looking for the whole tree itself looking in front of it. There is the tree looking east. And there's a tree looking west. There's no structural issues with the tree. It's not causing any damage to any vital city infrastructure. There is no visible pest or disease activity present on that tree.
Thank you for your report. At this time, I will open up to public comments. And I will remember to start the clock. Oh, I think. Reset. Go ahead.
Thank you. Promise not to take that long. Thank you very much for hearing us out and for having us tonight. Just a couple quick points to bring up, and really the main reason for our request is the safety of the neighborhood children and also us as homeowners. I'm not sure if you all are familiar with the little pods that get dropped out of this tree. I'm not sure if any of you have been unlucky enough to step on one. Very painful. Can certainly pierce the skin, cause bruising, and it's just overall very painful. We have several young children in the neighborhood, and specifically our neighbors that love to play in our little cul-de-sac area. Very high traffic area for the sidewalk, the street itself, and hopefully one day our front yard. But up to this point, we've been in the house for about 2.5 years, almost 3 years. I don't think we've been able to go in our front lawn at all in the entire time that we've lived there. On top of the little pods, there are limbs that tend to fall, ranging in size, I would say, from on the small scale about a couple feet to about maybe 6 feet is the largest one that I've seen that has multiple arms and pods connected, which could cause some serious damage if it were to hit somebody in the right way. The timer's not going here. I don't know if you got it. Okay, you got the iPhone. Okay, cool. Okay,
keep going.
So really just trying to bring that awareness that whereas this may be a healthy tree and we love the tree, we would love to keep it forever, but the fact is there are some aspects of the tree that are causing some significant damage to, or potential damage to the safety of the kids around the neighborhood and anybody that walks their dog or decides to go in front of our property there. I know these pictures don't show it, but I think there's some pictures in the packet for you guys. It's kind of tough to see with the black and white, but there are literally thousands of these things embedded into the grass. They kind of blanket the sidewalk and the street where those cars are parked right there. We have a weekly gardener that comes to clean up the whole area, and they do a pretty darn good job of it. But with the amount of time that they're allotted to spend on our property, there's just no way to clean up all of them. So there's a lot in the grass area that you can't see, both on the property side for us and also in the city property there in the grass. There is a lot of mounding that's going on in the front. It really hasn't caused a lot of damage to the sidewalk, but I'm sure that's kind of the next thing up on the list. But as far as the financials go, we totally understand it is a significant cost to the city. We do pay a pretty good amount in property taxes every year that we feel should speak for something, if for anything, just to bring safety and peace of mind to the families that are in our immediate area. So that's kind of all I have about the tree, and I'm more than willing to answer some questions with you guys if there are other options rather than tree removal. How can we make this thing a little bit more safe? From what I understand in conversations with Jim, is it does seem to drop a significant amount of pods compared to some other trees in the area. So we're open to ideas.
Thank you. At this time, are there any other members of the public that would like to speak on this issue? We will close public comments, open up to commissioner comments. Commissioner Erickson?
Yes, question for Mr. Ortiz. These pods, seed pods, and the resident just mentioned that there's a varying amount dropped depending on what tree you're at. Is there a way to suppress that in any way, or like, modify the tree so that it produces less of these things?
The city is looking at a pilot program for fruit suppression. So we're going to, we've injected several trees throughout the city, and I would like to inject this tree and see what it does for the next 3 years. Typically, within 3 years, the reduction's down from 100% down to 20%.
Okay.
Which is pretty substantial.
Yeah, 80% reduction. Okay. And this, it's happened before in other cities. It's been proven as a good method to reduce the falling stuff.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay.
It has been proven to be effective.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Commissioner Ursulou.
Yeah, and in addition to the fruit suppression shots or whatever, however that goes down, it says in your report that it's been pruned every 3 to 4 years. Is that right? It's on the 3 to 4 year cycle, or how often does it get maintenance?
The city's currently on a 3 to 5 year trim cycle.
Okay.
We're trying to reduce it to a 3-year trim cycle. However, if the resident's requesting trimming, they just need to contact me. And if we have funding, we'll certainly do that.
So it could be more frequent if they have more problem?
Absolutely.
And this kind of, I don't know, blossoms? Does it happen 4 times a year, once a year, 10 times a year? What's the pattern of that?
There is no pattern, because on the Brisbane box tree, sometimes it's more frequent, sometimes it's less frequent. At their location, it's more frequent.
If I may,
okay.
It's daily. It drops hundreds daily, and that there's never a break in that. We haven't seen one yet. To the point of the injections, I appreciate that, and I love this technique, but I hate the idea of not being able to utilize our front yard for 3 more years.
And Mr. Lindeman, what is the value of the tree to the city? Is the city's tree?
Well, first item is there was no significant infrastructure to any city property, and it should be noted that this was brought forth on June 10th, 2017, at which time it was denied. Although it says a 5-0, it was a 3-1-1, with Commissioner Peterson abstaining, and I believe Commissioner Wagner was not present at that meeting, but it still passed as a denial. The value is $9,110. That's the estimated value.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes,
Chair
please.
McNabb, thank you. Do we have any records of other residents' concerns and what they did to mitigate the concerns that they had?
No.
No.
Not that I'm aware of.
Any other ideas to help the residents with their maintenance of the pods, other than raking, maybe? I don't know.
If this fruit suppression injection program is successful, then certainly that will reduce all the pods. And that's our goal, is to see if it works on this type of tree species.
So in the meantime, what are some recommendations that you might have for the resident if this is denied? What are some recommendations that you have for the resident?
It's our belief that they're doing just about everything possible. They have a landscape contractor that seems to come and take care of it, as well as personally cleaning. You can blow the sidewalks off, clean the gutters. The weekly street sweeping will pick up a large percentage of that on its scheduled street sweeping if there's no vehicles parked near or at the house or the property. And it seems like they're on the right track as far as trying to get it clean. It's just a very difficult type of pod that is seems like a heavy drop in on their property.
And if I could just say one thing to your point, it tends to be a very popular place to park. So we do have a problem not only with the street sweeper getting all of the pods on one trip. Side note, trash pickup. That also sometimes is a challenge because people leave their cars there for consecutive days. So just to address your point.
I was more actually wondering as far as helping them in like getting them off the grass, because that seems to be your concern, is your son playing on the grass. So I don't know. I'm not familiar with this tree species, so I don't know if it doesn't rake up. I'm just trying to help the resident, like if there's a certain kind of rake or something.
Aside from me using my hands,
yeah,
there's nothing that works.
It's a very labor-intensive process. I've raked. I also have a leaf blower that is pretty powerful that doesn't get them all.
And that is correct. there is nothing that they can do except for what they're doing right now.
Can I ask one?
Yes, Commissioner Saleh.
So when you purchased the house, if hundreds are falling every day, it was presumably littered with them when you went to check out the house and view the house. Was the intent that you would just ask for it to get removed one day? If you knew?
Well, and we weren't, sorry if I may,
Yeah.
we weren't pregnant at the time. We didn't know, that this was going to be something that was so much of the forefront to us, so much fun. Plus, we absolutely adored the house, and if you're a first-time home buyer, sometimes you don't see all of those little details when you're kind of just looking at this, gorgeous house and wanting to move in. I don't know if you have anything else to add.
Yeah, and I don't think we also were aware of the volume of children that do play in our area. We were at showings of the property for a very brief amount of time, 15, 20 minutes. And they also did a really good job of cleaning up to present their house in the best way possible.
Okay. At this time, I will close Commissioner comments and ask for a motion. Commissioner Erickson?
Yeah, I'd like to move to deny it, but I wonder if we can put some mitigations in place in terms of a very quick round of trimming, sometime in the next 6 months to help them out. If we could put some stipulations into this to help mitigate the trouble that they're encountering, I'd be more inclined to deny it because it's a beautiful tree. It adds to the character of the neighborhood. It probably provides some nice shade on a sunny afternoon. And at the same time, yeah, it's definitely an issue.
Certainly the city is willing to work with the resident and trim as many times as needed if funding is available.
Okay.
And we'd also be willing to explore other options, as Jim said, as the city arborist had said, that we can use the fruit suppression injections.
Okay.
I'll second the motion. Call for the question.
The motion carries 4-0.
So we can revisit this once we've done the fruit suppression, and we certainly will do that. So thank you, and you have such a beautiful...
Thank you. He's been really patient. Can I
He's
ask
been
one
wonderful.
question, just out of curiosity? If something did happen to any of the children or to in the sidewalk area, if they stepped on it and hurt themselves substantially, would that be fully on our homeowners insurance?
Mr. Lindeman, do you know?
No.
Well, this is a legal question, but from a liability point of view, it's an act of, it could be considered an act of nature. It's a natural drop. If you feel it is a hazard, you could just kind of discourage kids from playing on the grass, but it is a natural occurring event, and I don't believe that it's a liability issue, but then again, I'm not speaking as a city attorney or an attorney at all. That's just a personal opinion. Thank you.
Thank you for coming this evening.
I just had one other quick
Certainly.
question. What would be the next step to request the injection, or is that on the list to make a visit to the house?
It's on the list.
Okay.
We're going to move forward with that.
Okay, great. And then
And the trimming,
And the-
yes.
Okay,
That
perfect.
was, the trimming was in the motion, so
Okay.
the trimming and the injection will occur.
Yeah, the
Excellent.
injection will go first because the next schedule would be in the next week or two, and then we'll do one in March, and then we'll do the trimming as well.
excellent.
So all you have to do is contact me, and we'll schedule the trimming.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thank
bud.
you.
You are such a good boy. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Next item.
New business item 10C, tree removal request, 3084 Murray Lane.
Commissioners, this tree removal request for 3084 Murray Lane. The type of tree is an American sweet gum. The height of the tree is approximately 15 feet to 30 feet. Size of right-of-way is 10 feet. It was last maintained on August 14th of 2017. What you see is the front of the tree. And then further back, you see the whole tree itself looking forward. And now you're looking at the tree looking south. And now you're looking at the tree looking north. There is no noticeable structural defects to the tree. There's no visible pest or disease activity present. And also there's minor structural infrastructure damage to the sidewalk. The curb is fine, and there's no rippling in the street.
Thank you. Any other additional comments from Mr. Lindeman?
As Mr. Ortiz has stated, that there is no major infrastructure damage to the tree. It is not, currently it is in a dormant state, so it may appear dead, but as Mr. Ortiz assessed, it is still a very viable tree and still alive and not showing to be doing significant damage to any city property.
Thank you. At this time, I will open up to public comment. Seeing none, I will close public comment, open up to commissioner comment. And seeing the resident has not attended, this will probably be a very brief vote. I move to take staff's request to deny the tree removal. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you. Call for the question.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 11, Maintenance Manager's Report.
That item is, there is no maintenance manager's report this month.
Item 12, Parks and Community Services Director's Report.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair McNabb and members of the Commission. I'm happy to present this evening's Director's Report. The winter session of recreational and community service activities, programs, and services began earlier this month, with spaces continuing to fill as registrations continue to come in from both resident and non-resident participants for more than 200 classes and programs that are being offered for the winter season. As school started back after the winter holiday break, so did the ROCKS program. More than 1,000 youth are registered for this program at just halfway through the school year, and this total remains a very strong number, so we're looking for that number to continue to grow. The free youth basketball program is open to play for participants in grades 1st through 6th grade. More than 200 participants are signed up for this year's program. The sister component to this program is a free youth cheerleading program, which has more than 50 participants that get to cheer on the sidelines at the youth basketball games and are assisted by Estancia High School cheerleaders to learn routines. The mobile recreation program continues to bring play and homework help to local neighborhoods during the week between 2 and 5 p.m. and on Saturday mornings from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and has served more than 400 participants during the months of November and December. This month, the program can be found at Lions Park, Shalimar Park, Tewinkle Park, Jordan Park, and on Fillmore Way. Following up their December snowball dodgeball tournament, special event that competed against public safety personnel and staff, the teens had 30 participants in attendance, and the teen program is now preparing for a free Teen Color Wars Capture the Flag tournament in March. Additionally, the teams will be given back in April with a Seal Beach cleanup event and a Fairview Park cleanup event that are both scheduled for that month. The Downtown Aquatic Center continues to offer open swim and lap swim continues to dominate pool use during this time of year, and staff are working to complete the spring calendar of aquatics classes. The winter break day camp was successful with nearly 90 kids participating in the program over the course of 2 weeks, and currently the President's Week day camp is taking registration with just a few open spaces left. Most youth sports and field facilities have been dormant for the past 4 to 5 weeks due to scheduled rest and renovation periods and in-between season timeframes, but staff are currently looking ahead for the spring field usage and have fields allocated for those programs. The city is proud to share that Priceless Pets hosted their grand opening of their new adoption site in Costa Mesa on Saturday, January 12th. And as Chair McNabb noted earlier, there were several hundred people that filtered through the doors of Priceless Pets' new location. So that was really exciting for us. Maybe you haven't stopped by, make sure to visit. It's a great site. And as a friendly reminder, as has already been mentioned as well, the Adobe Plaque Dedication ceremony that was originally scheduled for the 12th has been postponed to February the 9th due to the rains. So we're looking forward to that. And if you missed it on January 12th, it's because it didn't happen, and we look forward to seeing you on the 9th. We're also excited about the announcement of the grand opening of the Phase 1 projects for Lions Park, which will be, and the grand opening will be on Friday, April the 26th at 10 a.m., and that'll be the opening of the new park space as well as the library. And as we look into the next month, we look forward to continuing to meet with our current commissioners, and thank you for those that have served and will continue to serve. And thank you to Commissioner Ursula, who has spent her time with us during her term with the commission. And just as a reminder, at the earliest, the City Council would potentially make appointments for new commissioners February 5th. But we do ask that all commissioners remain with us until those appointments are made and new commissioners are sworn in. And this concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Commissioner Salute.
I have a question about the youth basketball and cheer program. First off, it's awesome, and thank you to all of the staff that's working on it. I just have a couple questions about the logistics of it, because it seems different this year than it was last year, because it's the smaller kids playing, so that means there's 2 games going on simultaneously. And the cheer, there seems to be about 40 or 50 girls. So now you're looking at like 10, 20, 30, 40, plus another 40, 80 kids and their parents. The gym was so packed last Sunday. Games were running like 45 minutes late. So our game was at 1. It started at like 1:45 or something. I'm just trying to figure out like is there a way to mitigate it? Maybe have the cheer be in between 2 of the games so the cheerleaders can come and go, because like the 80 parents fitting in, it was really jammed in there. So I'm just sort of wondering about capacity and sort of the longevity and sustainability of having that crowd there.
It's a good problem to have
Yeah.
because we have great numbers, but we could definitely explore and look into mitigating that issue. The program is newer, and so those are newer problems for us, and so we're definitely happy to explore additional options to make sure that it doesn't become a safety concern.
Yeah, because it just felt odd, because the cheerleaders were so awesome, but it seemed like they did a show for maybe 1 minute and 20 seconds, super short, but the poor girls were sitting there for, hours for the whole thing, and just there was standing room only in the whole gym. It was just interesting to figure out, because I think there's 2 simultaneous games when the little ones, they don't play full court, so you're just doubling the amount of team members and family watching. And
we can definitely address that.
Thanks.
Madam Chair?
Yes, please.
Quick question on the cleanups that I heard about that are happening in April. Are those in conjunction with Earth Day or some other something?
That's the purpose, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so they land on the same weekend for the Fairview Park cleanup for the teens. It's intended for that reason. And then the other one is just to give our teens additional opportunities for community service.
Great, thanks.
Okay, anyone else? I think that will conclude our meeting. The next scheduled meeting for the Parks and Recreation Commission is February 28th here at 6 p.m. Oh, can I just ask, how long is City Hall, the council chambers anticipated to be closed?
Right now, at least through the springtime, so we're preparing for at least through June and
Through
hoping
June.
that it's sooner than that. It
Okay.
finishes sooner.
Thank you. For this time, we are adjourned. Thank you, staff.